Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Steven and this is the Storytime channel. Today we have some entitled parent stories and our first story of the day is by XxBoatLickerxX. Parents leave me, 14-year-old female with a very sick baby and refuse to return until they had enough fun. I'm Australian so no CPS to call here. Our equivalent is called DOCS, and there is no way, if I would have called them, that they would have come to our town before the parent got home. We are hours away from anywhere. The ambulance thing, I get though. Now, at my age and being a mother, I would have without hesitation. But at 14, I wanted mom there to assess the situation first. I mentioned the meningococcal outbreak as another layer of the crappiness of the parents. Who leaves a sick baby when there's an outbreak of that? It was all over the news for weeks. However, even though that's where my brain went while I was there by myself, given the baby's symptoms, once my mom turned up, she was 100% confident that this baby had gastro or another tummy bug, and the rash was a heat rash and agitation from me constantly cleaning him. She had 5 kids and worked in the hospital. Me at 14 trusted her judgment, and heck, even now I'll call her when I need advice for my 2 kids. The baby was sleeping soundly before the mother got home. That's why she acted the way she did once she saw he was asleep. She didn't think there was a problem and that all I had been through during the afternoon was an overreaction. And finally, yes, that's what I charged 20 years ago, and every single family was happy to pay it. Except this one, of course. I was a really good babysitter. The kids loved me and I loved looking after them. In fact, I'm a bridesmaid next weekend for a woman that I met when I started babysitting when she was 3. Always stayed in touch and I became her second mother and helped her through a lot of things. Can't wait to see her get married. When I was 14, 20 years ago, I had been babysitting around my small town for 2 years. I had a great reputation with my regulars and would routinely stay until the early hours of the morning when the parents needed a night out. I would normally charge $15 an hour, but that would jump up to $20 after midnight. There was a wedding to be held in town, which meant people would be traveling to attend, and I was recommended to babysit by a trusted family friend. I had never met these parents before. Bit of backstory. At the time, there was a big outbreak of meningococcal. There had been cases of it from where these parents were traveling from, and as a kid who was interested in stuff like this, I had read up all about it and knew the symptoms. The night of the wedding comes and I arrive at the hotel to meet the parents. The baby is 1, and I thought it would be an easy night because I normally have 3 or 4 kids to look over. It was a really hot summer night and the baby was just in a nappy. The mother mentioned he was teething and might be a little whiny, but nothing I couldn't handle. About an hour after they had left, around 2 p.m., the baby woke up and was screaming. He was hot. I mean, so hot to the touch that I pulled my hands back when I went to pick him up. I tried to calm him and cool him, but to no avail. Any food or drink I tried to give him, he vomited straight up, and he was constantly soiling his nappy with a steady stream of diarrhea. At 4 p.m., when I knew the ceremony was over, I called the mother to tell her about her very sick child. This wasn't just teething. His temperature was soaring and she didn't even leave any ibuprofen or anything to help with that. She sighed into the phone and told me she'd be there in 20 minutes. Where the reception was, it was a 2-minute walk back to the hotel. After waiting 2 hours and the baby not getting any better, I rang again and was ignored 3 times. By this stage, it had cooled down outside, so I took the baby for a little walk along the veranda to try and distract him. However, I had locked myself out when I went to go back in. The baby vomited again and did a massive poop at the same time that dripped out of the nappy. So at this stage, I was covered in vomit and crap, locked out, no phone, and with a screaming baby. I had to walk through reception at the hotel, which happened to be attached to the restaurant, so those dining got a good eyeful and smell to go with their dinner. The lady at the front desk let me back in the room and I tried to ring again. The mother finally answered and I said, "Your baby is terribly sick. He's hot, vomiting, and seemed like he had a rash starting to develop, which is a giveaway for meningococcal." She sighed again. They had just started dinner and would be straight back after that, and please don't try to call again. Another 2 hours later, around 9:30, I rang my mother and she came to help out and bring me a change of clothes. We finally got the baby down about 11 and I rang one last time, said that I had my mother with me and I would be leaving at 12 after I called an ambulance for their obviously seriously sick child. That mother ended up coming at 11:45, drunk as heck and very upset that I had ruined her night. She couldn't enjoy herself because she kept worrying that I was going to call. She cussed me out about the smell in the room and how many nappies and bottles I had gone through. My mom stood back and let me handle it, but spoke up and said if I could get paid now because we needed to get home. The mother handed me an envelope and shut the door in my face. $20. That what was all in the envelope. I was owed $150. Mom knew we wouldn't get her to answer the door again, so she took me home. The next morning, Mom woke me up with the extra $130. She had gone to the hotel at 7 a.m., and once she told the manager what had happened, the manager slipped a note under the hotel door saying that due to the extra cleaning and disinfecting that would need to be done to the room, there was to be an extra charge of $200 put on the room, plus the extra $130 that our in-house sitter was owed. When everyone looks after each other in a small town, it is a nice feeling. Apparently, that father blew up when the extra charges were put on his card. Didn't realize the baby was so sick and was swearing at his hungover wife. The mother was screaming about the unsatisfactory babysitting I had did, and they left in a huff. I think about that poor baby every now and again, hoping that he was alright and got over whatever was making him sick. I was in a small panic for about a week, waiting to get sick too, but thankfully, and by some miracle, I didn't. Let me ask you guys, if this was you at 14 watching this obviously sick baby and this mother was outright ignoring you, do you think you would have called the ambulance a lot sooner than OP did? Let me know in the comments down below. Our next story is by Cupcake Commercial 666. The first and last time I took my sister up on her invitation to let me come with her family on one of their vacations. This happened when my nephew was 3 and my niece was 1. A lot of crap went on during this time that I won't get into because the post would end up being extra long in length, and ain't nobody got time for that. So I'll just mention the lunch incident. After arriving there, parking, checking in, room, mix-up, and more, I was wiped out and looking forward to eating. Sis asks if I can watch kids while I get ingredients to cook lunch. I'm wary, but figured the worst they could do was drag their butt and be gone for an hour tops. Foolish summer child. I try to pitch in some cash to help pay for food, but sis says no, it's alright. They leave, so I watch the kids, but an hour passes. Call sis and the store is out of blah blah ingredient. She says they're gonna stop at a food place and order us food. We hang up. Over 40 minutes pass. I call again. Sis says, everywhere is packed, it's the weekend, but assures me they're trying to hurry, but tells me they haven't even ordered yet. I hear a voice in the background before sis says the waitress is there so she can order now. By this point, the kids are hungry and throwing fits and crying. I give them each half of a Debbie cake I'd bought earlier, but it barely tides them over. Another 20 to 30 minutes pass and I call sis again, tell her the kids are starving, bored, and crying. She assures me that they're in the car and on their way back. 40 minutes later, they show up. With McDonald's. Cold McDonald's. I'm speechless. I look up and see they're not eating, so I'm suspicious, ask where theirs is. Sis tried to say they already ate, but brother-in-law freaked up and said they weren't hungry. So now I'm just staring at them and decide to go out on a limb and ask them where they ate at. Brother-in-law says nothing, won't even look at me and just focuses on niece, and I ask again, where'd they eat at? Sis caves and admits they ate at this fancy restaurant like 40 minutes away, nice steak place. I ask why they didn't get us anything from there, save time. Sis says the kids wouldn't have liked it, and that admits they didn't even go in the grocery store, just went out to eat. They straight up lied to my face about what was going on and then left me to watch 2 hungry as heck kids for over 3 hours. Needless to say, I was beyond furious. I think sis could see how pissed I was. She got defensive, asked what the big deal was, told me I should be grateful they invited me along on their family vacation. That I could never afford on my own, she made sure to remind me. And buying me dinner on top of it. I made the mistake of letting them drive me there, so I was stranded till they left in 4 days. So instead of screaming at them, I just got up, dropped the bag of cold food on the coffee table, and grabbed my luggage. Sis demanded to know where I was going. I say I'm leaving, then walk out. I heard Sis scream after me, "Fine, don't come back." I can't afford any of the free rooms in the area, so I just get a Greyhound bus back home. It cost $60, but after nearly 4 hours, I was home. I had to call our mom to pick me up. I had called her beforehand, so she was waiting at the station for me, thank God. It was nearly midnight. I wasn't looking to get abducted. Yeah, first and last time I ever took Sis up on her offers of me going with them on vacation. If you're going to lie about going out to a restaurant or whatever, why would you say that you're going to the store to get ingredients to cook? That's like the worst excuse you could use. That implies that you're coming back to make food. And then all that, you end up coming back with McDonald's? Cold McDonald's? Ugh, just terrible. Not even good lies. This next story is by XxBoatLickerxX. Aunt tries to take my computer parts and my cousin pulls an insane power move that saves my butt. My friend and I were laughing about this and he convinced me to post it here. Some context. It was recently my 16th birthday and my parents thought that I was old enough to build my own gaming computer. I carefully picked parts and had them laid out on my desk. My cousin was looking to upgrade her computer. She's 13. My aunt has never shown behavior like this to us, but now I'm sure her daughter has to suffer through it all the time. Anyways, so my aunt and my cousin were visiting, among a few other family and friends, for my birthday, and my cousin and I were at my desk in my room talking about the parts, and I was showing off all the stuff I had very meticulously placed on my desk. We were in the middle of a conversation of how she wants to buy a new graphics card and some other components to make her build better when my aunt walks in. Entitled Aunt says, "Hey, do you guys want anything to drink? Oh, hey OP, are these your new computer doohickeys? Too technical for me, I'm sure." I say, yeah, these are all things that I picked out. "So what's this one?" "Oh, that's the power supply. It's kind of like a battery pack." "Wow, OP, you kids are very smart to know all this stuff. Where's the screen?" "Oh, the monitor hasn't arrived yet, we just ordered it." Mom from the kitchen says, "Okay everyone, dinner is ready and we're cutting cake afterwards." I'm relieved to be pulled from the awkwardness and head to dinner, but this is where the real trouble starts. "So I heard OP was building a new computer. How cool. Actually, Awesome Cousin is upgrading hers, right Awesome Cousin?" Awesome Cousin says, "Oh yeah, I wanted to upgrade the graphics card." Dad says, "Interesting, so what are you looking for? NVIDIA or something else?" Awesome Cousin says, "Mine is pretty old, so maybe something like an RTX card? I noticed OP has a 2060 Super. Something like that would be cool." "Oh wow, so OP already has the one you want?" Awesome Cousin says, "Sure mom, but I don't..." "Well, shipping times are slow because of COVID, so what if Awesome Cousin could take your graphics cartridge, OP, and you could order another one? Your screen isn't even here, and what can you even do without a screen, you know? When it arrives, we'll pay you back for the cartridge, too." Dad says, "Well, see, OP really worked hard to pick out all the parts, and there's no telling when other things will arrive." "Well, it's the easiest option, just think about it." Later after dinner and cake, we go back to start figuring out how to slap all the components together. Entitled Aunt walks in and starts asking for the graphics cartridge. She looks angry, but I still keep rejecting all her tries to take it. Eventually, my parents come in and try to get her to leave. Dad says, "Look sis, if you want, we'll order one for you." Awesome Cousin's birthday is also in another month, and I wouldn't mind gifting her a new graphics card. He looks pointedly at my cousin. As long as it's not too expensive. Awesome Cousin says, "Thanks, Uncle. I don't mind waiting. I'm saving money, though. I could get it myself." No, I'm your older sister. I'm not leaving this house without that cartridge. You were always such a freaking miser. You aren't even smart enough to see the sense in my argument. Awesome Cousin, come here. Which is it? We'll grab it and leave. Come on." Then my mad lass of a cousin points at the box not for my graphics card and instead to the box of the old computer mouse that I was going to throw out. Entitled Aunt angrily grabs it and storms out with awesome cousin in tow and gets in her car. They live in another state, and I'm sure that awesome cousin got heck from her mom the whole way when she found out that the graphics cartridge was a computer mouse. We haven't heard from them for a day or two, but I called awesome cousin on their house's landline phone and she said she did get chewed out, but she doesn't know what the punishment will be yet. I'm afraid the money she's been saving will be taken away, but if this blows up and she calls back, then I'll add an update. Mad props to that cousin, because right in front of them there was a multi-$100 computer part and they very easily could have had it and on their way back home could have popped it right into their machine and had a huge upgrade, but instead knew what was fair and what was right and made sure that they didn't steal the graphics card from OP. That's what family is, not what that entitled aunt was. And our final story of the day is by Angian21189. My dad always eats my food even when I was in the hospital. My father has a weird history with food and has a tendency to eat my food. A few instances stand out. First was the time I was in the hospital following a heart procedure and I was in the ICU. My dad was saying me and my mom need to lose weight. I was/am 5'3" and 110 pounds. He offered to get me food from a restaurant and I agreed. He came back with 2 withered salads for me and my mom. The hospital brought me some baked ziti and potatoes while I was getting an x-ray done. He ate my entire plate provided by the hospital and left me a salad with no topping or dressing. Another time, I had a student from work get me a pretty large fruit basket as a thank you gift. My brother and father ate the entire thing without even leaving me a grape. They never asked if they could have any. For my then boyfriend's birthday, I baked him a pie. My brother and father ate the entire thing while I was getting dressed. On my own birthday, he used to ask where I wanted to go. Thank God I haven't lived with him in years. And then say he didn't want to go there and would ultimately pick his own favorite place to go, even though I didn't like the places he did. He sabotaged my engagement party by canceling my reservation at a particular restaurant and changing it to a restaurant that he wanted. These are just food-related stories. I have plenty more horror stories about my abusive parents. My mom justifies everything my father has ever done and somehow blames me in every instance. Even if it's just eating food, them doing that is such a depressing thing to experience, and not on just one occasion, on 4 or 5 times, and also on very monumental days. Days where you're supposed to have fun and celebrate, absolutely ruined because they want to eat wherever and just fill their tummies with whatever they want. They have no regard for anybody else. That's just a shame to hear about. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So if you had a favorite story of the day, let me know which story and why in the comments down below. But besides that, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe if you haven't. Also, please consider turning on notifications so you'll never miss an upcoming video too. No matter what you did, whether it was viewing the video, liking, commenting, subscribing, thank you all so very much for supporting the Storytime channel. Every little thing that you guys do helps the channel grow more and more every single day, and I appreciate the heck out of it. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all next time right here.